Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Cuban oregano. This is the variegated version of the Cuban oregano. Other names that you may have seen these labeled as are Spanish thyme or variegated oregano. Other versions of these varieties have completely green color leaves without the stripes. I've grown both versions, and I actually prefer the variegated one because it's more beautiful to me with these white stripes here. So these are one of my favorite herbs to grow in the garden, and I try to keep growing them every year by taking a cutting during the wintertime, bring them inside, and then once it's warm enough next season, then I take them back outside. So these plants here have been grown for 3 seasons now. I don't have a lot of uses for this except to season my salt and to season meat, because the leaves has a very strong aroma, so it could easily overpower a lot of your spices. So you use this in very limited amount because of that, and it has a very beautiful aroma. It's almost like it smells a lot like some of those cough medicine in a way to me. I think some people call this the Vic plant because of the smell. So when I was researching the plant, I found a lot of medicinal uses for this. I think one of it was for a cough or like a sore throat or something like that. I'm not sure how well that works, but I may try that. Anyway, so the plant loves warm climate. I think it's more of a tropical herbs than anything, because after 3 seasons of growing these, I noticed that once the weather dropped below 40 degrees, the leaves start to brown up like that, and then it starts to wither away slowly, and then the trunk of the plant also changes color once it gets too cold. So normally before it drops to the 40s degrees Fahrenheit, I would cut a branch or a few, and I would put them in water and allow it to root, and then I'll grow it inside. If it's in the 50s degrees Fahrenheit, the plant will grow fine. It just won't grow too much or too fast. But that's good for me, because I like to overwinter it and then bring it back out once it's ready to grow again next season. So the plant produces beautiful succulent-like leaves that's very, very nice and thick, and when you touch it, it'll leave a nice minty smell on your finger. And the plant has these hairs here. That's how you can tell the difference between the Cuban oregano, because sometimes people could misidentify these as coleus because they look very similar. So I brought along a coleus plant to show you. You see, these are coleus here, and the leaves is somewhat similar, because the coleus comes in many different varieties, and some look very similar to these. So make sure you don't misidentify, because coleus do have some of the white stripes sometimes, and I can see why people mistaken them for coleus, because they look very similar. But a few distinct differences that you can immediately tell is that if you rub the herb here, it'll have a beautiful smell on your fingers, so you can tell. And also the leaves are very nice and tender, so like if you accidentally like swipe it like that, it'll break open. And look how thick the leaves is. Smells very, very nice. I eat these raw sometimes. I just cut them up into little tiny bits, and I just put them into my salad. And I mean, it'll make your salad a totally different flavor because it's so strong. So other uses for this, people have often used this to like stuff meat and stuff like that. Use very little amount, because as I mentioned, it's very, very powerful. So the plants thrive very well in shaded areas. I think that's what it prefers. But here, I have actually grown it right in full sun, along with my rosemary and sage here, and it seems to be doing just fine. Initially, I thought that the sun beating down on it would do damage to the tender leaves, but it actually it does just fine. It just grow and perform just as well as everything else. So the soil is very important for these to thrive well. You need well drained soil because the leaves are like succulent, so it does retain water. So it doesn't like to be in clay type soil, and it doesn't like to be overwater. So when you overwater these, they will turn yellow and it will show signs of problem. So nice well drained soil. It loves organic matter, so soft soil full of organic compost, and they will grow so beautifully, just like the rest of the sage here. Again, the temperature has to be above 40 degrees for them to do well. They actually prefer 85 degrees. That's what I have experienced. 90s to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, they still do just fine, but 85 degrees around there is a perfect condition for these. Initially, I bought a small plant from a nursery, and then from there I keep propagating them, and then I have oregano to grow every season. So all you need is one plant, grow them to a size where they're large enough, and then you can propagate them. I have a video already done on this, so you can check it out, how to propagate it. It's very, very easy, and you can have oregano to grow every season if you do that method. And they do produce flowers. I have not seen these because I keep propagating them, so I never see flowers out of this. But I have seen flowers on other friends of mine that have these in the garden. Some of the flowers are white and some are purple, so I guess those are the different varieties. But they do produce flowers. I have not seen the seeds for them yet. So if you guys have seen them before or have experienced growing these, share some information with me. But they are a beautiful herb to grow. They're great as ornamental plants because they don't grow too fast, and you can grow them in hanging baskets. And also they smell great, so that's always a plus. So that's it, guys. That is all the information that I have on the plant. I think you can find more if you search these online. Again, these are Cuban oregano, Spanish thyme, variegated Cuban oregano, and they're tropical herb, and they do prefer full sun or sun, but a little shade in the afternoon is great for these. They do love soft, nice, loose soil, which is full of organic matter for them to grow well. And that's it. So I hope you guys try this out because it smells amazing. I just like to come out each time, pass by this, rub it the leaves and just smell it. And sometimes I just pick one of the leaves and I just smell it as I go through the garden, like this. And pests. Let me, since we're on that topic, I have not seen any pests within the 3 seasons that I have grown this that eat the Cuban oregano. The only damage that I've seen is frost. Frost will kill them immediately. Overwatering, and those are the only 2 problems that I've seen with this. Other than that, they're just beautiful herbs without any issue with pests and diseases, all that. So they're an excellent herb to grow in your garden, as well as rosemary. So I hope you guys look it up, try it out, and grow a few plants. I guarantee you would love the aroma that it puts out. Anyway, guys, that is it for my variegated Cuban oregano. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below, and thank you so much for watching.